Okay, I'd like to tell you today the story of the beautiful maiden Lungile. Lungile was the most beautiful girl in her village. And not only was she beautiful in the face, but she was even more beautiful on the inside. She loved helping her parents, and she loved helping anyone else that she could. She had a very kind heart. All the other girls in the village loved to spend time with Lungile. They loved going out to the lake and swimming with her, and some of the people would tease them, "Oh, you just like to be in the water with Lungile," hoping that some of her beauty will rub off on you. And they teased them, but they were okay. They just loved being with Lungile. One day, they were out playing and they were out picking berries, blackberries, and gathering kindling for the fire. And they teased each other because as they ate the blueberries, their tongues got black. And they go, "Oh, look at you. Your tongue is so black." And they go, "Look at you. Your tongue is even blacker than mine." And they laughed and they played and they had great time together. But suddenly they noticed that Lungile was not with them. They went looking for her and they found her in a clearing in the woods. And she was standing with her arms outstretched, looking up into the sky and singing beautiful, whistling, beautiful bird sounds. And all the birds were gathering around her and singing with her. And her friends came around and they said, "Well, Lungile, aren't you satisfied being the most beautiful girl in the village? Do you want to be a bird too?" And Lungile replied, "No, I'm happy being just the way I am, a girl named Lungile. But I do admire the birds and their beautiful songs and the miracle of flight and the beauty of their plumage." And so she was always known as the girl who loved birds. Now, time went on, and as Lungile got older, everyone began to wonder who would she be, who would be the one to marry her. She was so beautiful that men were coming from everywhere to ask for her hand in marriage. The first young man came up to the door. He was very rich, and so he came up with confidence, with an entourage of people bringing gifts for Lungile's parents. And as they marched up to the door with this confidence, the girls and the women of the village were just excited. They were ululating. And they were excited that this would be the man Lungile would say yes to. But he left, head bowed, shoulders drooping, as Lungile said, "No, not this one. No, not this one." And he went off, sad, back to his home. The next one came, and he was very, very handsome. He was so handsome that the girls grew weak in the knees just to see him. And the women were reminded of their youth when they were wondering and looking for a beautiful young man to come to marry them. And as he came in, they said, "He's perfect. His beauty matches hers. They will make beautiful children together." But he came in with confidence, but he left, head bowed, shoulders drooping, as Lungile said, "No, not this one. No, not this one." The next man came, and he had a very, very kind heart, and he promised that he would love Lungile for the rest of his life and take care of her. And his parents thought, surely, this is the one that Lungile will say yes. He came in with confidence. He went out, head drooping, shoulders drooping, as Lungile said, "No, not this one. No, not this one." Finally, Lungile's father was a little bit fed up with her because man after man came, young man after young man came, and young man after young man, and young man after young man, and Lungile would sing, No, not this one. No, not this one. No, not this one. No, not this one. And he said, are you going to reject every man that comes for you? And she said, Baba, I'm just waiting for the man of my dreams. I saw him in a dream, and he said that at the time that he would come for me, he would send a bird who would let me know that it was time. And her father said, what, do you speak bird language too? And she said, no, Baba, I just know that I'll know when the time comes. Lungili's mother said, let her wait a while. Let her wait and see if this bird man comes to her that she has dreamed about. So Lungili waited, and one girl in the village after another got married. Men came for them, and they said yes. Another one came. She said yes. Until all the girls in the village were married, and they teased Lungili. No, not this one. No, not this one. No, not this one. And they said, you're going to end up marrying some old bird man or some old man all worn out who looks like a duck. Lungili did not bother about it at all. She was very content to wait. She spent her times listening and learning from the older women in the village. She learned how to make beautiful beads and how to weave mats and baskets. And she was very content, and she was very helpful to everyone who asked. She was very happy to just be Lungili, waiting patiently. And the thing about it was, the longer she waited, the more beautiful she became. And there was one old woman in the village who said, you mark my words, something special is going to happen with this girl. She is so beautiful, her beauty is magical. And in fact, one day, Lungili was sleeping, and early in the morning, she heard a bird come to her window and sing, Lungili, hurry up, the man of your dreams is waiting for you at the lake. Woza Lungili, Woza Lungili, the man of your dreams is waiting for you at the lake. Woza Lungili, Woza Lungili. And Lungili jumped out of bed and hurried and dressed as quickly as she could, and she ran down to the lake, still singing the song the bird had sang for her. Woza Lungili, the man of my dreams is waiting for me at the lake. I'm hurrying. And she went to the lake. And when she got there, birds of all colors and types were gathered around her. There were birds in the air. There were birds in the lake. There were birds in the tree, and they were all gathered around this magnificent man. He was more special than she had even imagined. And the really cool thing was, when he saw her, he opened his arms and he ran to her and swooped her up. And as they embraced, all the birds rose up in the air into one big funnel, and they clouded around, and the bird feathers, each of them, were dropping. It was like feathers were raining from the heavens. And as they were raining down, Lungili and her man were just embracing, and women from the village came running out. They were so excited, and all the young girls and their husbands too came out. And they were excited. Today is the day that Lungili is getting married. And each of them picked up the feathers off of the ground, and they gathered them together and took them into their homes and made a beautiful wedding gown for Lungili. A wedding gown that no one had ever seen before, full of colors and sparkles and beauty, of feathers of every color. And they dressed Lungili in this beautiful dress, waiting for her day, waiting for this day of marriage. And her parents threw a magnificent feast. There was food of all kinds spread out on tables upon tables upon tables. It was a magnificent feast that was spread before them. And Nungili and her man were united in marriage. And the birds sang, and the people feasted and had a beautiful time all together as they celebrated this wonderful day in the village. Lungili and her man went back to his country, and they made their home. And in their home, the birds were always welcome. And as they had children, their children played with the birds, and the children knew that in their home, the birds would teach them lessons and beautiful songs, and all the people would be happy. And they learned that good things come to those who wait, and sometimes even better things come for those who wait a little bit longer.